Am I pretty enough? Just kidding. Day 9 of the 90-day video challenge. I'm almost ready to graduate to the double digits. So let's see, today is the 11th of March. Allergies and stuff are still acting up, of course. That's always fun. And kind of brings me to point of getting off tangent of what I was mainly planning to do, but just going to Jeff Lerner and the Entre Institute's 3 Ps, starting with physical. Just finished my 8,500 steps for the day, so I can't walk around outside right now, or at least not very much, because with a little bit of bronchitis and sinus infection and allergies, probably not the greatest idea. The little bit I have to go outside is a pretty heavy toll. So, 30 to 20 years ago, if I needed to jump into physical activity, I would just start doing it, no problem. Just hop on whatever thing I needed to do or wanted to do and just go full throttle. Those are the words I was going to say, but I'll try to keep them more clean. Just go full throttle with it. And, might hurt a little bit for the first couple of days, but, still being young, 20s and 30s, can handle it. After a week or so, it all works out. Now that I'm in my 50s, 51 now, I know that's one of the main points with Jeff is your physical self. And I've tried a few times to start doing exercises again. It's not quite as easy when you're turning 50, or I was 50 at the time, turning 51. So even though I knew that at my age I shouldn't just be hopping into exercise, trying to do things like I'm, 35 or 30 years old, I got to start slow. And so one of the things I started doing a couple of weeks ago, since I got this, it's a little bit old Samsung watch now, but I think it's the first series, but hey, it works fine, is at least start with maintaining a certain number of steps. Because the first month or so, sometimes I'd get over 5,000 steps, but most of the time it was like 3,500. I'm an IT guy. I sit at a desk most of the day. I have to walk around, pick up some equipment, put it back, things like that. Go check on some network cabinets and whatnot. But for the most part, it's, I was getting up in my house, go downstairs, eat, blah, 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 get dressed, walk around the house a little bit, and hop in my truck, drive, park, walk into the office, and sit there for hours on end. Days I would get, over 5,000, was either there was a lot of issues going on, or days when I was taking the dog out for a walk. So a couple of weeks ago, I at least set my initial goal at 5,000 steps a day and try to maintain that. And then kind of boosted it about that was about 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And then 2 weeks ago, I went to try to do 7,500 steps a day. First week didn't go so well, but by the second week I did pretty well. I got, I think 4 out of the 7 days total, if I remember right, that I had completed. And now this week I added another 1,000. So my goal for this week is 1,000 or 8,500 steps a day. And so far since Wednesday, it's only Friday right now, but so far 3 days I've been on track. Let me double check that just to make sure. So, come on. Oh yeah, since Tuesday actually. I did 8,500 on Tuesday. So, but my week is running from Wednesday until Tuesday, so right now I'm on track. 4 days in a row, but 3 days in a row for this particular week. So I'm on track right now. I've been having to actually do a lot of my walking around in the house, of course, because with pollen and stuff kicking up from the trees uh, much earlier this year than expected. I didn't prep myself with my supplements and vitamins and things that I usually do, and it seems like this year's like really atrocious allergy season for Las Vegas. So it's been hitting me a little bit hard. Plus, part of it I think started with COVID back in September 21 when I had COVID. Um, that was the hardest hit. The family, and I've had allergies since shortly after I moved to Vegas. So I think it was starting in 96. It was 96 when they started up. And so I had allergies, asthmatic allergies, and those lasted for a long time. But about 6 years ago, I kind of got the asthmatic part all settled down and out of the way. And about 5 years ago, really, most of the allergy stuff had quieted down. And very little, a little bit of nasal congestion, a little bit of headache here and there. Um, but the shortness of breath was very, very mild. I could breathe, I could go outside, I could do stuff. Not for extended period of times, at least. I didn't try to do crazy things like run a marathon during the allergy season. But most of my allergies were tamped down. Again, like I said, I was blending my own little super shakes, usually taking 2 a day during the allergy time. And I'd usually start taking them about 3 to 4 weeks ahead of time. My allergies usually start up about mid-March. And all was going well until this year. It struck me like it was about 5 days before the end of February. They started up, and I hadn't really fully prepped yet. I'd started taking some of my little shakes, not everything in it, but it hit me hard, and it's been hurting a little bit since then. So I think COVID played a part in that because, you know, all the bad side effects of the bad parts of my allergies had been pretty much under control for about 4 years. And then this year they just went crazy. And the COVID had some, respiratory issues. I had a lot of shortness of breath. Could barely climb the stairs in my house before, I got to the top of the stairs and be wasted, exhausted by then. And then at the end of December, last week of December, first 2 weeks of the year, I had bronchitis. First time I ever had bronchitis. That was worse than having COVID, in my own personal opinion. That really made me feel really crappy for 3 weeks. And I'm not belittling anything with COVID. I know there's people that have serious issues and things with COVID. I'm not in that age range yet. So, it's not super deadly to me. And besides having the older, asthmatic allergies at one point, I don't think I don't have any comorbidity type things that would put me in any major danger. But anyway, so COVID hit, and then I had bronchitis, and now the allergies kicked up. I think they're all a little bit related. The doctor didn't see any major damage to my lungs or anything, but I think it's just more of an automatic response now in my system that it's whenever it comes to a respiratory type issue, it's going to start doing this type of crap now, giving me bronchitis and sinus issues, which I had with the bronchitis as well. So, long story short, I think if I can get back on track, the exercising part, that's what I'm trying to do. And unfortunately, it is probably going to be another 4 or 5 weeks with allergy season here. It did start early. Hopefully it won't run late. So usually if it starts a little bit early, it tapers off a little bit quicker as well. It's usually about 6 weeks that 6-7 weeks that I deal with allergies. Um, so hopefully it'll be cleared up by mid-April. That does kind of put a downside on some of my physical activity, but at least it does help me kind of keep myself better control, as in try not to do too much. Because if I do too much at once, I'm going to beat myself up and then I'm not going to do anything. So it's at least good to moderate myself and what I'm doing. 8,500 steps this week. Next week, I'm going to add another 1,000 onto that, get up to 9,500. And then, keep doing that. And hopefully by the time allergies are over, and I said that's about 4 more weeks from now. So it should be up to 12,500 steps a week, or per day, sorry, per week, yeah. 12,500 steps per day, maybe 13,500 steps per day, depending on when the allergies cool off here. And then hopefully at that point I can start doing a little bit of jogging once again. Or actually I'll probably start bike riding first. Get out there, because I used to love riding bike and rode my ass off when I was younger. So I'm not in horrible shape. A little bit overweight, 220. But that was better than 3 years ago in January. My anniversary in 2019, I weighed 265 pounds. And yeah, I was quite disgusted with myself. And by my next anniversary of January 2020, just before COVID struck, I was down to 200 pounds. With intermittent fasting, I didn't even exercise during that time. I was just getting rid of a bunch of junk food and controlling the time frame I ate, doing a little bit of daily like full day fasts every so often, and that got me down. And then COVID struck and things kind of went out the window, but it hasn't been too bad over the last 2 years. I did go, I go up and down. I think I was up to about 245-ish, or just under 245 at one point. But I've been able to keep it pretty much at right around 220 to 225. Actually, during COVID, I did go down to like 212 again, almost 210, because I couldn't eat for like almost a week, barely walk. That wasn't a pleasant experience so much. But, yep, so hopefully I will be able to start biking at least by the end of April. Last week or so, I'm hoping for. And then shortly thereafter, I'll try to start doing some jogging, a little bit of running around the neighborhood. And we'll see if my dog can keep up. He's an American bully, so he has a little sprint activity, but he can't do long-term running. He gets... We walk around our neighborhood. I can only tell you it takes about 20 minutes walking with him. That's a little bit slow, not walk fast-paced. He walks a little bit fast, but then he stops and sniffs everything like every 10 feet anyway. And sometimes he'll sniff there for like 2 minutes. I'm like, what are you smelling? It's like, come on, dude. So about a 20-minute walk around the house, and if it's like 60-ish degrees outside, he is worn out by the time he comes back. And he's a short hair type dog, not long. And so he's not going to be able to run very far for very long. But we'll see what happens. And hi, dear. I'm doing a video. My wife just walked in the garage. Was like, what the hell are you doing? I'm ending. That's all I had to say. She was sleeping. So thank you all, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. This has been Phil Tingley. Excuse me. Day 9 of my 90 day video challenge. Keep feeling tingly. Thank you. Bye-bye.